to ask the question. Islam, she Dwayne Bey. This is a machete that I brought, and I put it over our Moorish American Nation flag because, first, let me just say this. I was just looking, I know that one of the test questions when I took the classes with Moorish American National Republic was, what gives Moorish Bureau of Vital Statistics their power? And the answer was the Holy Quran Circle 7, chapter 47, 10, 11, and 12. 9, 10, and 11. Let me make sure I said that right. Okay, so 9, it says, yes, it was 9, 10, and 11. And 9, 10, and 11. And I don't think it was 12, but it was definitely 9, 10, and 11. I don't think it was 12. So it says, according to, here it is. It says, according to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the Holy Land of Canaan. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. There is no one who is able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers, unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. So that was the answer to the question. And so once again, the question was, what gives the Bureau of Vital Statistics, Moorish Bureau of Vital Statistics, their power? And the answer was the Holy Quran Circle 7, chapter 47, verses 9, 10, and 11. I put the machete over our Moorish American flag because it has the 5 green star in the middle, 5-pointed green star in the middle, which represents love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It is over 10,000 years old, according to the 101s. So over doesn't mean 10,001. It could be millions of years old. And I think that's exactly what it is. I think it's more than millions. I think the flag is a spiritual representation that we have inside of us. And since time never was when man was not, then that flag that represents those high frequencies of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice is with us and has always been with us. These are just my thoughts. And sometimes when I'm praying, which we pray in a different fashion a lot of times in reference to the elements, water, wind, earth, and fire, or northwest, north, east, south, and west, but it's usually, we definitely focus on the elements. I think of how the flag, and this was a while ago, I've had these thoughts. The flag is in us. This is not just something that just came about. That's what sort of brought me to thinking to myself how important it is spiritually to have integrity and walk with your back straight. Islam. So I put the machete over our flag because I know I am my ancestors and my ancestors are me. I know this. And when I read the information about the machete and how ancestors can use the machete for protection for you spiritually. This is spiritually. It was like a must get, like something just triggered. Not something my spirit triggered. Get it, and I brought it. It's just like when I purchased the book Rocks Cry Out. When Rocks Cry Out by Butler. When I purchased this book here, When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler. I read this book in like I think quickly. That's all I can say. I want to say three days or 4 days, but I'm not sure. All I know is I read it quickly. I just kept going back to it. So what I'm trying to tell you is I brought this because when I read the information from Aya Ehme Orma, I agreed it was spiritually attuning to my thoughts. And that machete, it was like, yes, my spirit said, get it. This is a spiritual war. We are among unclean, filthy, abomination spirits. And they have been at war with clean, divine, celestial beings for a very, very, very long time. Our Moorish flag is over. If we say we are thought of Allah, which we are, and time never was when man was not, then that's how long I see my Moorish American flag being. That old. But maybe not in the physical Islam, but in that manner, in this manner now. But definitely it represents those attributes of a higher thought, a high frequency that we are. And that's what I connect with. That's what I was saying a lot of times about your spiritual back, keeping your back straight, your spiritual back. Because when you keep your spiritual back straight, everything falls in line. It's not, I can't tell you how many times these unclean spirits, Spanish speaking, a lot of them, they like to say black Negroes too that are unclean, how they paid Moors or sold they sold you. These are very unclean, unnatural spirits. Okay, pale skin, yes, do it too, but I can't tell you how many. I can't tell you. And predominantly, it's definitely have been the melanated, the black Negro, African American, those that speak Spanish, whether they're from South Central America or Mexico. Those are the ones that really, really sort of try to these are unclean spirits. And when I say this, I'm telling you, it has manifested on the physical plane, because spiritually, definitely, I can attune on them and hear things. But when you have unclean spirits say, I paid, brother paid, and they look at you, okay, on the physical plane, brother paid, we paid, or it could be just a spirit saying it. You don't know if it's clean or unclean, but nonetheless, and on the physical plane, you already have experience spiritually and mentally. That lets you know something. Islam. So I'm sitting here. I'm about to vacuum, I think. And anyway, so I just want to tell you that. The reason why I'm saying this, because I'm demonstrating the importance of walking with integrity of your spiritual back. It's important. And so on the physical plane, you could be dressed in a manner as in your nation, and you are maybe a high official, okay? And because you are educated in the science of Moorish science, and you have your status and so forth, you have a temple, you have some form of respect and status, right? But you have done things that are very that are extremely questionable in reference to the unclean having substance to what they say in reference to Moors. So that caused your spiritual back to bend, Islam. And so if your spiritual back starts to bend because you're not able to, because you have fallen short on your covenants and your divine rights, or not divine rights, your covenants, but in your divine I'm trying to think. your divine covenants, what you have affirmed to uphold in natural, divine, and cosmic laws, and you've fallen short. And not just you, but maybe it's a small group of you or a group of you, and because it has been normalized, it's okay. Islam, you think it's okay, but it's not. It really isn't, because the spirit world is always paying attention. And I say this, but I'm saying it to myself, because it is real. It is so real. When I say this, and when I say real, I gotta be careful, because that could be a manipulation. Sometimes I see that online, people saying real. When I say real is the spirit world, I connect with more than I do the physical. In reference, it's a balance. It's definitely a balance, but definitely I am really connecting more with the spiritual aspect of our attributes and the higher self. And being among unclean, unnatural spirits that I'm among this day and time, I have never believed in coincidence, but it's definitely I am here for a reason. It's not because I'm cursed or it's poor more. It's because I am being polished up. Islam. When I first Sheikh Arrington-Bey, my Moorish American nation, I remember I was speaking to National Grand Sheikh Joe Arrington-Bey. I could barely say the word spirit. Do you hear me? Because I really didn't understand the word. I just knew I was having these experiences with Sheikh Arrington-Bey, and I didn't know. I didn't know how to articulate Islam. I was awakening, and I didn't know, but I knew I was having spiritual and mental experiences, and I really couldn't even really articulate the word spirit. And so this is where a lot of times, because it was never taught to me, but in such a manner, and definitely I didn't know about the sacred mental growth, Islam. So now I'm here. Out of all places, I come to Annapolis. And Annapolis, I'm among some really filthy, unclean, unnatural spirits. I'm among Spanish-speaking, unclean, unnatural spirits, saying werewolf, the Birdman, attacking your genitals. Like one time, I was about to have my menstrual, and I swear I felt the unclean, unnatural spirit, that looked mongoloid, invading my sheath, because unclean, unnatural spirits can invade your uterus or your part of your body, and actually cause you to, for instance, if you have blood clots, actually cause blood clots to come down, and they might be somewhere invading your sheath, trying to consume spiritually, or even if they can physically, your blood clots. Islam. So one time, I remember I was lying here in the bed, and I was about to ministrate, and usually my ministration is dark at the beginning, and then it lightens up. It's like a really old blood, it's dark, whatever. And I've experienced this before. And what I do is usually not even give it any attention. But the unclean, unnatural spirit, because I remember I was hearing a lot of feedback in the room, Spanish-speaking males and females, Black, Negro, African males, and female accents in a room, and hearing them say three. This is feedback, or close to the room. Let me say that. Saying three, brother, you're still hearing a lot of brother page, but Spanish speaking, whatever, just a lot of feedback in the room, but yet I was experiencing definitely a spirit invading my sheath, and this has happened before. And after it finished, like invading my sheath, because I shine my light or whatever, I remember I felt like some moisture between my legs, and I was getting ready to ministrate. And so it was actually, I didn't know I was getting ready to ministrate, because I still don't keep up with it like I should. And I looked and I saw that I had ministrated, but that's not because, it was because that spirit had invaded my sheath. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been out, and I'm bleeding in Annapolis, and I felt not just one, but other other unclean spirits invade my sheath, and blood clots come down. It's not just, so it's a collective group of unclean spirits that do this. And so if you have the telepathic code and you can see, you are definitely either you involved in it, you do it yourself, you part of it. So, and if you are natural in spirit, so an unclean spirit, Islam, that's all it is to it. And you are that's on a spiritual level. But getting back, so I'm saying this in reference to unclean, unnatural spirits is because say I was enjoying the invasion, okay? It's like you being invaded in your dream, and you have no idea what's going on, and say you enjoyed it. These unclean spirits, they feed off that, okay? And then then they really want to engage, and they'll keep engaging, and be multiple of them engaging, trying to have sex with you, because they say, because you don't know, you chasing that feeling. So I think about young Asiatic men who really don't know, and they virgins. And this is before the spirit. I'm just gonna say they just didn't know, and so they were literally preyed upon. Young Asiatic Moorish men, Moorish boys, literally preyed upon by so-called Black, Negro, African American, those that speak Spanish, and other pale skin, other unclean abomination spirits. And they sent 3. They paid, whatever they can do so that they can continue to engage and transform a being. Because when you never experience something and then you experience it, and at first you might not know, then maybe you get tricked and you like the feeling, whatever it may be, and then eventually they go the next step and really start transforming you, entering your mind, your sacred departments in your mind, your Akashic records, and you just really just not yourself no more, your true self, you are gone. Then they have transformed you. You are something else. And so those that are unclean and unnatural in spirit that speak Spanish, I definitely think they are involved in such things, especially in connection to the United States, unnaturalized United States military and the police, which is, if they're unnaturalized, then a foreign entity is using them. Foreign entities is using them to do so. So I definitely think those that speak Spanish are definitely involved in transforming that sacred Moors that have sacred melanin. That's why they stalk and they try to latch on, because they are the descendants of another kind of Mongoloid that existed. Not all. These are my thoughts of unclean spirits that existed in Mexico, South Central America. But that Mongoloid was a Mongoloid too. The original inhabitants of South Central America and Mexico were as dark as night. Islam, they were as dark as night. They were not Mongoloid. And they had this sacred melanin, okay? They had sacred melanin. Not one of them can say, if they are unclean, unnatural in spirit, that they have sacred melanin. So I definitely think the Spanish speaking and definitely the unclean and that which are African American and unclean and unnatural in spirit are involved in transforming Moors who have sacred melanin on mass levels. This is why there are unclean, unnatural spirits are stalking. And I think they are definitely connected to the unnaturalized United States military, the police, and other foreign entities. This is why they stalk and try to latch on like they do. that's just one aspect. Also, because they are literally some form of an incubus. I mean, you have them saying werewolf. You have that which is African American saying brother, like an animal. Some say brother, just say it, but then you have those that are like, I mean, literally like an animal, like a beast. Brother, you know. So some might just be mentally ill, literally. But nonetheless, this is why I started to videotape the noise that I was experiencing in this room, the feedback. So when you once again, the connection is sacred melon, and these Spanish speaking from Mexico, South Central America, that a government have allowed on this landmass, along with the African American, and these are unclean unnatural spirits. They could also be just other citizens, pale skin, but they are under that unnatural law. They are outside of natural law. A lot of them will say three in like an animal and a beast manner. They are really not all, but too many are definitely trying to latch on to those that have sacred melon, because there's energy. Melon is spirit. It's a divine spirit, and those that are unnatural and unclean, they don't have it. The mulatto, they don't have it. That's unclean and unnatural. They don't have it. They don't have it. And so I think when you think of Moors who know the spiritual aspect of sacred melon and what these unclean and unnatural spirits agenda is in reference to sacred melon and transforming Moors, and how so when they speak of Moors being dirty, these unclean spirits, or even Moors, I was listening to this rap song speaking about Moors being dirty, being very, very dirty, and collaborating with blacks. Or African Americans. I don't think he was referring to African Americans that have a good spirit. I think he was referring to unclean, unnatural spirits. So that's really low. That's really low, and that's really wicked. Islam, it is extremely wicked. So that's I would say that would be one of the major thoughts in reference to spiritual payments and spirituality, because these Spanish speaking and other unclean melanated, they are really unclean from South Central America and Mexico. They are really, and African American and other melanated, they could be from Pakistan, the Middle East, that are unclean and unnatural. They are really, really unclean, and they know they don't have sacred melon. They know they don't. And so it connects me back to the invasion of different parts of Africa, Sudan, and different places where sacred melon probably existed, and how places like from Pakistan, or the Arabs, Asia, they invaded India, just went from country to country to country, invading different parts of Africa. Some of the islands that we don't know about, taking that melon and transforming the people. Islam. It is July the 7th, 2022.